Renee Rainville with EBI Results, where we help improve health, wealth, and create succession plans to pay you beyond your golden years. And today we're talking about wealth again. We're talking about the Corporate Transparency Act. Why is nobody talking about the Corporate Transparency Act? This is a new law effective January 1, 2024, where any business owner that is not making over $5 million and doesn't have 20 employees, me, I will never have 20 employees, you have to register your business bank account with FinCEN, the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. It's real. You have to update your home address every time you move. It's crazy. So banks and financial institutions are bird dogging this for the government, and they are looking for suspicious activity. There's no definition for that. That's worrisome for me. In my research, I've never found any definition for suspicious activity, but I know that it's, surrounding money laundering and shell companies and the activities that they pursue. I know that a lot of small businesses make small cash deposits, and I know that that's on the list. So this is something to be worried about. We have a lot of solutions, but we have a ton of free information, and I just wanted to play some of that for you so you could understand why I'm so upset about this, I guess, be the best way to put it. It's very upsetting. So I do marketing, and these are sales funnels, websites that I create. And when you register, you get to this page, and you've registered, you've shown interest, you want to learn a little bit more. So we have some information that we update all the time on these pages.
So let's go over what we're going to cover in this video. And yes, Big Brother is definitely going to watch us even more after January 1st, 2024. I'm going to tell you about the threat. I'm going to tell you how the feds are coming for our anonymity and our profits. And I'm going to show you how to protect yourself, because we have the solution to protect your anonymity and your money. Let's dive into it. What is the Corporate Transparency Act, and why should you care? Well, I'll tell you what, you definitely should care, but it was enacted on January 1st of 2021 as part of the National Defense Authorization Act for the fiscal year of 2021. They kind of just slipped that in there without anyone really noticing. And it's designed to create a national database to register corporations and limited liability companies. And oh, by the way, if you have an LLP or an LLLP, you're also required to register. And it's designed to target anonymous shell companies to address and prevent money laundering and terrorism funding, tax evasion, and similar illicit financial activities. Isn't that just like the government, right? They throw out this straw man of, we're going to have to, stop money, drug dealers and terrorism. And what they actually do, they're just trying to get more. They're trying to get in our pockets. Okay, that's really what's going on. So according to the statutes of the law, who's exempt? Well, if a company qualifies for all four of these things here, then it is not required to register, meaning that if it employs more than 20 full-time employees inside the U.S., not outside, if it owns or leases any physical office in the U.S., by the way, that cannot be a residence or any kind of shared office space, and the previous year tax returns has to show more than $5 million in gross receipts. So let's talk about beneficial owner. How does the government define beneficial owner with this legislation? It means that you own or control more than 25% of ownership interest. You exercise substantial control over the entity, and you receive substantial economic benefits from the assets of the entity. Now, there are three specific indicators of substantial control that the government is looking out for. Do you serve as a senior officer of a reporting company? Do you have authority over the appointment or removal of any officer? And do you direct, determine, or substantially influence any important decisions made by the reporting company? And they define ownership interest as any equity, any capital or profit interest, any convertible interest, any warrants or rights, or any options or rights to acquire equity or capital. So what are you required to give to the government according to be in compliance with this act? Well, you're required to give your legal name, your date of birth, your current street address, residential street address, not your corporate, your residential address, even if it's outside the country. If you live outside the U.S., doesn't matter. And they want to get your passport number or your driver's license number or your state issued ID number. And again, if you're not a U.S. citizen, they want the passport of your country that you are a citizen of. So what does this mean? It just means more government control. Big Brother is just watching us more and more, less profit for us, more and less anonymity for all of us. So let's talk about the filing requirements. If you bend the knee and decide you're going to go ahead and do this, what are the requirements? Well, if your company or your entity was formed before January 1st, 2024, then you have 1 year to file. Anything formed after January 1st, 2024, you have to file, according to the Corporate Transaction Act or Transparency Act, 30 days from the filing of your entity. And of course, the government's always going to have the hammer. So what are the penalties for noncompliance? Well, it's a $10,000 fine, 2 years in prison, or a combination of both. Yeah, let's be real, okay? That is definitely a threat. Being in your orange jumpsuit, having a corrections officer take you down to your cell. And so you may be asking, well, who gets access to my info? Well, this is going to be given to any and all law enforcement agencies, any national security agencies, any federal regulatory agencies like the IRS. And not only that, any financial institution is going to get access to all of this. So who in this is especially vulnerable? Well, anyone using holding companies or shell companies.
So it goes on and on. That's just a snippet for you to take notes so that you understand. You can Google the Corporate Transparency Act at any point in time. I implore you to. You can search on any media and you'll see financial advisors and attorneys reporting about it. I do a lot of research every day to find new information, anything that's changed, any nuances, and I want you to read about it. We have a lot of information collected for you already. We did a lot of the homework, and we offer a handful of solutions so that you can legally avoid compliance with the Corporate Transparency Act. You can always become a sole proprietor. So thank you. I'm going to keep banging my drum. I'm on my soapbox. This is dangerous for real estate investors and business owners that aren't making $5 million per year and don't have 20 employees. So if you're making over $5 million per year and you have more than 20 U.S. employees and you have a U.S.-based office that's not a shared office or home office like WeWork or anything at home, an actual U.S.-based office, you, again, are making more than $5 million per year, you have more than 20 full-time U.S. employees, and you have a U.S.-based office, you're not on this list. W-2 employees, you're not on this list. You're already taxed like crazy. So real estate investors, business owners, beware. This is information that is very important, and we would just want to help. I just want to help. That's all I do, right? That's what I do. Before I was sharing this information, I was doing some box breathing, because EBI results, we improve health, wealth, and create succession plans. And the box breathing, Navy SEALs will do this before going into missions, and it helps you to regain control over your diaphragm, and that changes you. So I was breathing in from the bottom of my lungs for a count of 4, holding it for a count of 4, breathing out for a count of 4, and holding it for a count of 4. I could feel many of my body systems changing, relaxing, and I was regaining control over my body systems again. I was a little nervous. I was breathing from the top of my lungs, and that creates that fight or flight response, and I chose to regain control of my lungs, box breathing. I work outside barefoot. I'm earthing, getting heliotherapy from the light and the angle of the sun through my eyes, and I'm far more productive while I'm working outside than when I was working at my stand-up desk inside. I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you want to learn about this, because this is a new law that your accountant hasn't talked with you about. They have a fiduciary relationship with you. They have to protect you. Financial 16-mile-an-hour winds unfolded today at ebiresults.com, or you can hit the Rebrandly at the bottom and just go through that page. It's free. You can learn about it. It's a big deal. Until next time. Cheers. Honey, vitamin C. This one's got lysine. It's the Pauling vitamin C. Healing with honey and vitamin C.